Well, let's see. What else has changed? Let's go inside for a minute because there's a couple other things that are a little weird. One of them is chests, and I think there's a bug in chests because it seems like there's some darkness that occurs. Now, see, this one looks okay because I've got this torch here. But let's see if we can head into our storage room for a minute and see what that's looking like. Yeah, see, now before I turn towards them, you see that? They're kind of shrouded in darkness. And then sometimes if I, yeah, as I approach it, they come into light. But see, this is definitely a bug. I also have seen this bug when you're looking and using stairs because there's a weird shadow. Over here, you know, these guys look okay again because of the placement of these torches. But again, if I'm not looking directly at the torch, see that? If the torch comes into view, it helps bring out the chest. You see that? So that's a little weird. And then the other thing that's actually kind of neat is if I point at this chest, you can actually see the lines that represent the box the chest sits in. Well, do you notice that it's actually a little smaller than the chest we used to have? And there's a neat little animation that occurs when you right-click it. It's kind of hard to see in single player because the inventory screen hides it. But over here you can see that the chest has been opened. And then if I hit the escape key to close the chest, you'll actually see it close. You see that? So that's kind of neat. Well, what else can we do here? If I pop open my own inventory screen, this is a feature that's going to become really helpful. I've got a stone pickaxe over here, and it's almost dead. And here's another one that's even in worse shape. There's a neat new feature, and this is a 1.9 pre-release 2 feature. And what it is you get over to a workbench, and actually you don't even need the workbench. You could actually press E or I and pop up the crafting, this little area here. And all you do is grab two tools that are kind of worn out and put them either next to each other or above each other, and it'll create a tool that's in better shape than the ones that you're putting away. Now, this is the first because I actually saw videos on this where it made it look like you put in two tools and it gave you a brand new fresh tool. But actually this is a little more precise because if you look at it, this tool has some wear to it. But it looks like it's more of the combination. Like if you took the little bit of red from there and you added it onto the orange here, it'd probably give you that tool. Okay? So that's going to be helpful when you know, you're doing some compressing and stuff and you need to do that. So I'm going to pull that down. So now I only have the one pickaxe that's got the wear of both of the old pickaxes. Let's go over, I've got some glass in my pack, and here's another new goodie. Okay, now this one here you can't really do anything with yet, but if you take some glass and you lay it out in your grid the same way you do iron to make one of these buckets, watch what happens. It gives you bottles. Now, like I said, you can't do anything with these bottles right now. There's no real use for these. But they're actually talking about creating potions that will allow you to do some things. And I've seen some neat screenshots where you open up this window and some windows pop over here talking about various things like your strength and your stamina and your speed and how diseased you are, or how much poison you still have in your system and things like that. You can actually see, and actually if I bring this open, there we go, some stuff has changed down here. We now have a food meter, and this entirely changes the game. Used to be that if you took damage, you would immediately start losing hearts. And then, you know, when you got down here, you were dead. Well, that doesn't work anymore. It's all entirely based on this food meter. So if you're hungry, these food bars start to go down. And if it gets to below, I think there's 10 here, so if it gets below 2, so, you know, if it's in this area here, your health isn't going to rejuvenate. So if you can eat until you get at least to here. And I think this is 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, they say it's got to be 80% or more. So you have to be beyond this one. So if you can get into this area here, then very slowly your health will start to rejuvenate, even on hard. But if you go beyond this, then that's going to not start taking them away, but it's going to just keep it here. And then every now and then you can have things happen to you in the game that will poison you. And if I come back to the game, you can see now, right now, those little, whatever they are, chicken bones or drumsticks or whatever, are nice and bright and they look kind of healthy. But there's a new mob that you run into underground, and it's called a cave spider. And he has a bite that's poisonous. And if he was to bite you, you would see that your food would take on this weird green tint. And what that's going to mean is that very slowly that meter is going to go down. Actually a lot faster than if you were just working. And if it gets too low, then it starts to take hearts away from you. And if you don't have too many hearts, it can take you all the way down to half of a heart. Poisoning will never kill you, all right? Continued bites from a poisonous animal would kill you. But if you were poisoned and then ran away, the poison could have the ability to take you all the way to half a heart. Again, you won't die, but you'd be incredibly weakened, which means the next time you took any kind of damage, you'd be dead. And then the only way to build that back would be to eat enough food to give you a full row of those little, whatever they are, drumsticks, so that you could very slowly start to rebuild your hearts. All right? Okay, now, this area out here is going to be cool, because something that he introduced in 1.9 pre-release 2, and then for those people that are running the free version, you're going to have to wait until the official 1.9 release, is animal breeding. And if you were following me from the beginning, this pen was originally created to help me get pigs at night, because I was playing around with tamed wolves. I actually had some dogs. They were called Wolfie. And the only thing a wolf can eat when it's tamed is pork. Okay? It didn't matter if it was raw pork or cooked pork, but it had to be pork. So I had originally created this pen to help capture pigs at night, because these torches lit up the grassy area at night and then allowed these animals to spawn. And since it was the only area lit up, this was the only area where they would appear, and then the fences kept them in until I could come in and kill them. Well, now we have the ability of helping to breed additional animals. And all that's needed is wheat. You know, we've got the wheat in that garden back there, so we're going to be able to get the wheat. And if we just wait for the animals to spawn, you need, of course, 2 animals. And then you just right-click each animal, and you'll see these little red hearts, and eventually they'll go up next to each other, and then they'll spawn a 3rd one. So that's going to be a real neat way for us to, rejuvenate some of our food stores. Now, I notice we've got some darkness approaching, so what I'm going to do is hop back in here and get rid of the darkness. And then I want to talk a little bit more about food again, because that's something else that has really changed in this game. And again, it ties into that food meter. There weren't really too many ways in which you could eat. Meat-wise, we had pork from the pigs, and we had fish that you could get out of the water with a fishing pole. But meat-wise, that was really the only meat we had. And we've now got lots of extra possibilities. I'm actually looking for a sword, and I don't know if we have a sword. Ooh, I have a bow and arrow, though. So we'll try the bow and arrow. Alright, I've got a couple arrows right here. And then we'll take a look at our possibilities. Alright, I got rid of the darkness, and I want to go out and see. No, let's go out the front door. I want to go out and see if we can find some of the other animal friends that we have had since we started playing. I'm just looking for bad guys right now. Okay. It was right down here where I was fishing at the very end of the last Let's Play video. And this is where that creeper got me. And he took out a pretty nice chunk of this area. So this is what I had to fix up. And that's really the only thing I did since the last time we saw each other in this world. But let's see if we can't take a little walk and find one of the passive mobs. Because now every passive mob that's out here can now give us meat as well as some of the other goodies. Let's see if we can find some. Come on, guys, where are you? So, for instance, the cows, in addition to giving us leather, now give us steak. And again, you can have raw steak or you can cook it in a furnace and get cooked steak. The cooked steak gives you back more of these drumsticks, just like they used to do with the hearts. If you ate a raw pork chop, it would give you, I think it was like 1.5 hearts back. But if you cooked it, you got like 4 hearts back. Well, again, it doesn't give you hearts anymore. It helps build back those little food bar units. And I'm wondering where the heck all of our farm animals are. That is so weird. Well, what else did we have? Oh, chickens. Chickens, and again, in addition to giving us feathers, will also give us raw chicken that you can cook. So we now have that. Let's see. On the bad side, oh, you can't. Let's go back to the good side for a second. Sheep cannot be killed for meat. Okay. Sheep are still basically only used for wool. And another change that was made is you can't walk up to a sheep and simply right-click it and then it'll shear the sheep, which is kind of cool because you know, that wasn't exactly realistic. You know, you're going to go up and slap a sheep and it's going to give you a wool. Yeah, I don't think so. So for that, you actually need to create shears. And shears, you need to have 2 iron ingots. And you just put them in your crafting table. Any 2 squares that are on a diagonal will create shears. And then you use those shears to get a hold of that wool. So here we go. Now we got a couple guys.